B for fresh brew. No, B for
Boss.
B for
Badass.
B for bum. B for Balderdash. B for Brooklyn. B for
Bacon.
bacon.
Makes everything better.
Better, B for better. What's the cafe called next door?
What is it?
It's got to be something with a B. Do you know?
I don't know.
It's got to be something with a B. It's good though. B for Cappuccino.
That's my favorite.
Oh, did we start?
Oh, yeah. Brian Monroe and Stephen Francis Martin say good morning.
Good morning, guys. Nice to see you. Thanks for checking us out. We appreciate it. I am here in Brooklyn, just finishing my lovely cup of B.
Blank. It's
Cafe Blink.
blank.
Blank or blink?
Blank.
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 Did you say blank?
Ian said boom-tastic coffee.
Boom shakalaka.
Rosvina says good morning. And
Nice.
Melinda Combi says
Good morning.
good morning, Nick.
Corinne says.
Good morning.
Good morning, Corinne. Live and direct. Brooklyn Live. Okay, we have the wonderful Jackie right here in our chair, and we are going to create some loose layers, and we're going to create some bangs, and it's going to have like movement and looseness. And we're going to work with a razor, and we're going to work with a scissor. The hair was pre-painted, so she's got this blonde, which is going to give the hair really nice dimension. I'm going to take my Arrojo razor, rotate the blade, rotate the handle, V for victory, place the razor right into the tang, sits into the second finger, right at the base, push, so now it's pointed forward, and the action is literally, watch the thumb bend. So there's no movement with the elbow, it's literally just with the fingers. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome to Brooklyn Live. We do this every Thursday, well, probably 50 Thursdays out of the year. Last week we took a break because I have been resting my sprained ankles. For the last 5 weeks I've been hobbling around, but good to say I'm getting a little bit better day by day.
Good.
Resting up. So what we've done here is we've sectioned the hair out into 2 panels. We took the front away, made it look like Princess Leia, yeah? And we're gonna leave that out. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start through the back. I'm gonna take a central section through the back of the hair. It's important to work with clips, keep your work nice and clean. I like, keeping nice and clean with my work. Jackie does have a lot of hair. The razor is going to add texture depending on the way in which I use it, but for now I'm going to elevate the hair. I'm going to comb the hair back and in towards me, and we're going to place the blade in. I'm going to start to layer through the hair. So notice how I always like to say we're going to comb this hair in. So from the base of the section, you always want to see that clean base of the section, and we get straight in. Coming up nice and tight. We want nice high tension cutting. And then we're going to start to move the blade. And we're going to start to interact with the hair. I like to call this the bite of the blade. As the blade kind of works into the hair, I like to say that when you feel the pressure of the blade cutting, I call that the bite. That's kind of like the feel. It's a little bit like you can feel. I don't want to say tug because the razor's very sharp. But what I do feel is I just feel it actually interacting with the surface of the hair, so I can actually create a little bit of softness. Let's just have a look at that first section. So you can see here, I'll just clean this up. We'll give it a second pass. So just starting through again. And comb that out. Up and in. And that is your first section complete. Now what I like to do is I like to approach it from the opposite side. Look, I've clipped this out of the way. So now I'm going to approach it from the opposite side because everything's going to be pulled in and everything's going to be pulled in. So you'll see now this elbow, which was down before, this elbow is going to come up as I pull everything in, and I'm actually pulling in a little bit more hair as I start to look for my guideline. So you're going to see your guideline right in here. Let me pull this away. You can see your guide. It's very soft. You can see your guide right here. If I come through, there's the guide. Can you see that, Corinne? Mm-hmm. Yeah? So let's comb that through again. We like to say this is high tension cutting. Get that razor moving up and down. And just what I like to say is just melt that hair away. So I'm combing this first section inwards as the head rounds away to my left, in, and as the head rounds away to my right, in. This center section is about a ½ an inch in thickness, and we're going to keep it as clean as possible so that, because this really is the guide for the layers. And when you start that first cut, you're going to look and see, where did that layer fall? And you can see that it's falling right about here. We don't want to overlayer it. We don't want to create a mullet type shape. We really want to create just like a heavy, loose, textured shape. I'm going to come through. I'm going to tip into the hair. Tipping is a technique where we use the tip of the blade, and the tip of the blade is going to add a little bit of softness. So we're not actually taking away length now. But what we're doing is we're just lightly tipping into the hair just to create a little bit more lightness and transparency. That's going to take away some of the thickness and the bulk. Now notice how I don't go in too deep here. If I went in here, it would shatter the ends. It would create a weird finish for the ends. So we're tipping. Our golden rule is pretty much to say, stay within the final 2 inches of the hair, and then you're just going to lighten and soften the ends of the hair. Now, Brooklyn Live, feel free to get involved. Feel free to ask questions. This is Arrojo's way of connecting and communicating with the community and sharing kind of our techniques, sharing our level of education, and letting everybody know what we're up to, because we're very busy. But right now, we're focusing on making Jackie look great. Now, when you take this section, you got to really think, because if your section's too thick, it's really hard to see the guide. So let me skinny that down better. You can see the guide right here. So when you are working with a razor, because you're working on soft lines, it typically takes a little bit of time before you actually get connected and before you get like a solid kind of guideline. But this is section 2. We're using a side piece of the blade as I work through. So get that razor moving and then just melt into the hair and just fine teeth of the comb. This is the Arrojo razor comb. It's a $7 or an $8 comb. I think it's $7. Beautiful comb. And all of our tools are available on arrojopro.com. That's arrojopro.com. And we have a pretty spectacular sale this weekend, starting right now. And what is our code at checkout, Corinne?
It's July 4th.
July 4th. So July? Mm-hmm. I never lie. I never lie. Only when I have to. July 4th, and it's the number 4 TH. And the discount this week is
20%.
20% off, and that will be live until the end of the 4th of July. So if you're looking for scissors, razors, combs, brushes, clips, underwear, go to Arrojo Pro.
Is it red?
Red underwear.
Good. Nick Ian's asking, would you do more tipping nearer to the root when working on very curly hair?
No, I wouldn't really tip to the root on curly hair, depending on the curl, Ian. But if you tip too close to the root, you can take out space. With curly hair, I tend to do more what I like to call kind of creating deep slicing. So it's like this. I'd rather do deep slicing when I'm working on curly hair texture, because you don't want to make the ends too thin. So, but again, I can razor super close to the root, depending on my desired finish, my desired outcome. But for here with Jackie's hair, we're just trying to make it just a little bit lighter through the edges.
Nice. And Kevin Baker said he's stopping by Arrojo this weekend.
Great, Kevin. We'll look forward to seeing you, buddy.
No more bicycle accidents.
No more. Keep that nice and tight. There you go. Keep your sections nice and clean. And right now we should be building up our guide. You can actually see the hair fall away. See as I lift? See it fall? Right in here. So I'm seeing it and feeling it at the same time. Always comb the hair in. Oops. It's okay. I got one ready. Yep, so it's the 4th of July. We're halfway through the year. It's exciting. June 29th, my firm belief is, the first half of the year is a lot of hard work, and the second half of the year is going to be based on all of the hard work that you did in the first half. As we turn across the middle of the year, it's summertime, so the salons typically get a little quieter. It's great to take some time out, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, but I think it's also important to, stay refreshed and relaxed, but also start thinking about, what's going to happen for the second half of the year. I was just in Atlanta with my good friend Jeff South. We did a club intrigue. Brent Hargreaves, Amanda Hare from Bob Steele, and of course Jeff. We were at the Data Driven conference with a special app technology called Zizor. Yeah. It was interesting, very interesting. Again, technical data is very important as you run your business as a salon owner and also as a stylist. It's something that we at Arrojo, we really try to focus heavily on statistical data for our stylists so that they can become more successful. And while I was in Atlanta, I did a few clients, which was really nice. My good friend, Salon Intrigue.
Nice. Nick, Milo Maksimovic is asking, where's the red razor? And he said he loves the way you cut.
Hey Milo, nice to see you, buddy. My red razor is right there. Mm-hmm. Remember, 20 off if you're interested.
Yep. And Dennis Kanzane said, hi Nick from the Philippines, that kind of cutting, can it damage the hair?
Well, it can if it's done badly. Yeah, but we're really working for this loose, beachy, soft texture, and that's why it's important not to overstroke the hair with the blade. In other words, you don't want to come down the hair shaft too aggressively. So remember, what we're doing is we're splicing the hair. So you want to kind of, the razor's sharp like a scissor. It's actually probably sharper than a scissor. You just want to melt that hair away. And if you look at what's in your hand, you'll see what you want to create. You don't want to make it too shattered, so we're not making it too shattered. As the head starts to round away from me, I'm going to start to elevate the hair inwards a little bit more. We still want to keep the pre-existing length. And again, one of the things that I'm probably going to do at the very end is I'm probably going to do what I like to refer to as sealing the cuticle. I'll seal the cuticle with my scissor just to refine and define. But right now, again, just working with that softness and the freedom. The reason why I got into razor cutting was because I wanted to create a little bit more looseness in my work, more freedom. I always felt that it was a lot of fun cutting hair with a scissor, being precise, and we certainly do train all of our staff with scissors, first and foremost. And the razor is just, you know, it's a second phase of developing your skill set and your eye and developing your technique. And if you're going to work behind the chair, as I have for 35 years and plus, hopefully I've got another 20 years left in me, you know, the idea would be let's have as much variation so I can kind of vary my technique behind the chair. Little tipping here, right here, you'll see. It's a little bit more like sketching the haircut in. It's more organic, it's more kind of natural in the sense that we're not cutting any hard, clean lines. You know, thinking of shape, it's all of these, you got, you know, tens of thousands of hairs, and we're trying to get all of the shape to balance, but in a controlled way. So you see, I'm looking for shading. You see how as I shade, it should get naturally thinner, and notice how I shape the hair out. Excuse me.
Nick, Ian said he's been having fun playing with a razor on some of his guests, and he finds that after years of holding a comb one way, he's asking if you could show him how you hold the comb.
Yeah, I'm going to show you right now. Just finish this section. So notice how as I'm holding the comb, you can see small finger underneath, 2 fingers on top, thumb underneath. That gives me great attention. And I come through, you've got to get really high tension. Now notice how when I'm holding the comb, this is usually the finger that you hold the comb with, your pointer finger. So when you're cutting with a razor, we lock that finger down. We call this the lock. So it's locking the shaft of the razor down so it's not loose. And also look where the razor is when I'm going into comb. Nowhere near. It's nowhere near the client. So when you're holding the razor, you have your hands like so. This is the Pac-Man. You place your comb in. You learn how to rotate. And the reason, look at the small finger, it pushes. Small finger pushes. Rotate, rotate, rotate. You can also use your big fat belly. Big fat belly to push it. Yeah? Because you need the fine teeth of the comb and the wide teeth of the comb. And you can see here what we're creating texture-wise. So you can see how you create softness in the layers. This side's not been cut, so if you come to the back, Corinne, you can see one side's cut, and you can see the softness through here. And then you can see the heaviness in here. So now we're going to spin you around. I'll probably unplug for a minute. Come on this side. She's breaking the phone. Did we break it?
No.
We didn't?
We almost.
We almost did.
Nick, Brian Waldron said, hi guys.
Hey,
I have
Brian.
a new stylist at my salon, and her name is Crystal. She's watching for the first time.
Hey, Crystal. How are you? Now, Brian's an ambassador. Let's use a little bit of Hydro Mist. It's a great cutting lotion. It's a light conditioning spray. It's called Hydro Mist. Smells delightful. Linden Blossom. And this is our Hydro Mist. If you tune into Brooklyn Live, you usually see me with this product. And now we've changed body position, so stay there. This was cutting the right side. Now this is cutting the left side. So we're always coming in, coming in.
Nick, Jeremy Hickson is asking, any pointers how to get comfortable with the razor in your hand?
The more you hold it, the better. What I would recommend you do is take the actual blade out and practice holding the razor when you're watching TV. Just have it comfortable in your hand all the time. The more you put it into your hand, the better. And then of course practice, and if you're not used to it, practice on a mannequin. You know, just do the same haircut that I'm doing here on a mannequin, because it's that comfort level that really will help you. When you work with a razor, it is a little bit, well, it's a lot freer than a scissor, and you get more engaged to the hair. because you actually feel, when you cut hair with a scissor, the hair falls to the ground. When you cut hair with a razor, the hair stays in the fingers. So that's the difference.
Nick, Karen Thompson's asking, do you ever use a thinning shear when cutting or texturizing?
Yeah, I use everything, Karen. I think a long time ago, I grew up in the world working for pretty much Vidal Sassoon. I spent the first chunk of my life as a hairstylist working for Vidal Sassoon, and the golden rules at Vidal Sassoon were precision-based cutting with a scissor only. And while I loved the purity of that and the discipline, which is what it is, because it really enables you to become disciplined, because you just have the one tool. So if you want to create different effects, that one tool needs to be modified. You use it in many different ways to create different effects. When I left Vidal Sassoon, I was an eager stylist wanting to try all of the things that I was told were not necessarily the right way to do it. So when I left Vidal Sassoon, razor, texturizing shears, round brushes, all those things that were kind of anti-Sassoon philosophy, but 99% of the hair community were already using them, I started to experiment and play. Now, I'm still a firm believer in precision-based hair cutting. I'm still a firm believer in pricing, what I like to call premium pricing for your work. So I believe in integrity in the cut, integrity in how you develop, evolve, present your work, time-wise, and all of that. But I do believe that, you know, different tools can, A, keep you more inspired, B, give you different effects. So I don't believe that we necessarily need to say that things are bad. So I like to use everything. And of course, that you will always find that if something's a little bit too gimmicky for me, I tend not to want to use it, because I'm still kind of a bit of a purist when it comes to technique. So I hope that answers the question.
Nick, Taylor Jameson said, why have we never worked together? It would be pretty amazing.
How are you, darling? It's never too late. It's never too late. Scooping this hair all the way up, keep your sections nice and clean. I can feel the hair disappear behind my fingers. So as I comb through the hair, I feel it now. Disappear. I get my razor working, and I'm just going to melt that hair away. Scoop it up. And here, where we're not taking out length, we're just going to add texture. Just the tip of the blade. Now, Jackie has a dense amount of hair, which is excellent, because it's going to give us that real heavy, shaggy kind of heavy piecey look. And of course, with a Arrojo product, we'll be able to really bring the texture out, make the haircut look great. So final few sections before we move towards the front. Most of the hair is through the back, so this is where we take most of our time. Over directing the hair back. Remember, as we work and start to round, or as we start to move around towards the front, elevating that hair up using the side plane of the blade, just melting that hair away. Now this weekend we are going to be launching our competition. Now we have a competition. It's going to be on Arrojo Social. It's called the Arrojo Hot Shot.
Woo.
Hot Shot, baby. And you will win. The winners of the Hot Shot, and it's going to be on Arrojo Social. It will be on our Instagram account too, so we're going to be launching it this weekend. But you have to post the images on Arrojo Social. The winners will be announced at our big marquee show, which is called Arrojo Expo. That is in October. The competition is a video, a 45-second, I think it's either 45 or 30-second video, and that's going to be on a haircut that you've executed using an Arrojo product. And it's going to be, let's say, a 30-second video, and the winner will win the chance for an all-expenses trip to New York, and you will be working on our booth at the International Beauty Show trade event, which will be in March of 2018. And then we also have a photo competition. So there's two ways to win. One's with a short 30-second video using Arrojo products, styling one of your fabulous haircuts. And the second way to win will be doing an American wave and posting a photograph of your best American wave. We have judges that will be announced when we announce the competition. Some of our style council, our ambassador network team, and then also we'll be announcing the winners during Expo, which is October the 21st to the 23rd. So you'll get notoriety with the audience at Expo, and you get the chance to come and work with us in New York and hang out.
Derek Maldonado says, good morning, Nick, from the Vin Diesel of hairdressing.
Hey, Vin, how are you, buddy?
He's really starting to own that now.
I know he is. we got to talk as well, Dee, about your next jam that you want to do. It's in September. What's the date? He's going to tell us right now.
He will. Nick, Narita Soto said, what is a good way to get rid of weight from the crown area without taking out length, and so the layers are not too short?
Come from the underneath. So you come from the underneath. If you come from the top, it's short. If you come from the underneath, so you could come this way. You don't have to whistle. Yeah? You can come from the underneath. You doing okay, Jackie?
And Nick, Kelly Health is asking, where do you get Arrojo products? I am in Idaho.
Okay, Arrojo products as a consumer, you get them on arrojoNYC.com. If you're a hairstylist and you're interested, just connect with us again at arrojoNYC.com, or you can go to our salon locator, and you can go into a salon maybe close to you, someone that carries Arrojo products, all on arrojoNYC.com. And if you're interested in becoming an ambassador, that's what we call our ambassador program. Our ambassador program is where salons carry Arrojo products and they connect with our culture and our education.
Nick, you've got a good question here.
Yep.
Tracy Lundy said, I am getting my hair cut in about 10 minutes with a shorter hairdo, and I'm wondering what types of short haircut is best for a round face.
Oh, well, you know, everyone always thinks they have a round face.
This is true.
I think that your stylist should be able to recommend. The best thing you can do, in my opinion, if you're going to get your hair cut, is to find a picture on Pinterest or on an app called Style Noted. We do a lot of short hairstyles on Style Noted. Take that into your stylist and let them modify your cut. A quality stylist to be able to modify the cut so that it is perfect for suitability.
Nice. And Rick Jaramillo is asking, when is your Happy Mondays in LA?
Rick, my next Happy Mondays in LA will be in August. And I am doing a class in August, at the end of August. I believe it's around the 27th, 28th of August. It's an Up Close with Nick 3-day razor cutting class. If you're interested, go to arrojoNYC.com, get the information, or contact Loretta, double T, at Arrojo NYC. She can give you information on the 3-day cutting class, and my next Happy Mondays will be then. We're looking forward to getting back to Los Angeles. I spent I had 5 trips there in the first 3 months of the year, and then I've been very busy here on the East Coast and even as on the Midwest. We were just in Denver last week. We did a great show there for Cosmoprof, Best of the Best. But we're looking forward to getting back to LA. And we're looking forward to seeing you, Rick.
Derek Maldonado said his hair jam is on September 10th.
Wow. Okay, D-Spot, we got to talk.
Mm-hmm. And Kimberly Crow said, Reese, Eli, and I need haircuts. When are you back in Atlanta?
I was just there, Kimberly.
Pain.
I did clients on Monday. I'll keep you posted. We need to see you. I hope all's good, Kimberly. I think you had an anniversary too. Happy anniversary.
Rick said open up a school in California, Nick.
That's what they all say. But
That's
thanks,
what they
Rick.
all-
I'm hoping for that. It's something that I've been trying to slowly work on, but my hands have been very full here in New York. Just a quick dial into the cut. You'll notice, I'll talk you through the opposite side. You'll notice that my sections are fanning, so 1, 2, 3, 4, rotating, over directing it all the way back, and then just again, I'm kind of feeling my way through the cut. So I feel the hair get skinny between my fingers, use the flat of the blade, soften the hair out, scoop it up. If you're interested, we'll be in Las Vegas on July the 9th, 10th, and 11th. We will not be doing hair, but we will be at the Cosmoprof Distributor Show. We will be there. We will have a distribution booth. We're looking forward to meeting plenty of people in our industry and our business as we continue to push forward as one of the truly owned independent hairdressing brands. And we're excited to be there, so we'd love to see you and say hi. Obviously, you've got the big Naha show, so good luck to everybody that's in Naha. We're excited to see how it all turns out and how successful you will be with Naha. So I'm gonna come from the front, but you can see where my layers are sitting internally. I will do a little face frame before I do the bangaroonies. I'll probably do the bangaroonies before I do the face frame. Why don't we spin around this side, Corinne, and we're gonna do the opposite side, and I'll talk everybody through it.
It's looking good.
So remember, we're gonna drop this. This is a replication of what we just did on this side. So the haircut's pretty symmetrical. So keep the hair damp. When you're razor cutting, you want the hair to be damp. I like to use this hydro mist. It's kind of lighter than water. It just adds a little bit of slip, silkiness, softness, non-greasy, non-oily. It's a great lightweight, refreshing cutting lotion. And now we take our sections with the wide tooth of the comb, clip, and you'll notice we're going to start to pivot from this point all the way around. And we're going to over direct the hair back, upwards, and in. That's a lot. Back, upwards, and in. Scooping it up. Get that razor moving before you get there. Cut air before you cut hair. It's part of one of our little catchphrases, one of our taglines.
Nick, Lisa Amato is asking, where in New York are you?
Right now, Lisa, we are in Brooklyn. Williamsburg, Brooklyn. This is my Williamsburg, Brooklyn location. I have 3 salons in New York City. 1 in Tribeca, 1 in Soho, and this one here in Brooklyn. This is a 32-chair megaplex. It's a 32-chair salon.
We've upgraded.
We've upgraded. And we have big salons in the city, across the water there. And yeah, 3 salons, 2 schools, 1 advanced academy, and then we have 3 different product lines. We have Arrojo product, which is our signature wet line. It's over 40 pieces, 40 different SKUs. It's a very extensive line. Over 40 SKUs, stock keeping units. We have American Wave, which has been out for the last 12 weeks, but we do have our official press launch on July the 19th. If you're a salon owner and you want to experience American Wave, get connected to us. Maybe we can invite you to our press launch, which is on July the 19th here in New York. And then we have American Wave, the texture service, which we used to call them a perm. And about 5 years ago, I created a waving lotion so that we could put movement, wave, and body into hair. So we got a lot of different stuff going on. We're excited for it, and we're always trying to push our industry forward as best as possible. If you're ever passing through New York and you want to stop by and say hi, the door's always open, 7 days a week.
Nick Phyllis Pate is asking, is Hydro Mist an Arrojo product?
Hydro Mist is an Arrojo product. Let me put it up right here, you can see it.
A beautiful close-up.
Yeah. All of our products are color-coded, so when you look at them on the retail shelves, we line all of the colors up together, so it creates a good visual impact. I also believe that, having them color-coded, easy for the consumer to understand what the product is, because they kind of remember the color sometimes more than the name. Hydro Mist smooths, softens, and silkens. It's a lightweight conditioning spray.
And Nick, Kelly Heath has a great question. She said, why do you prefer that razor over a longer straight razor like a feather razor?
Well, this is a feather razor, but when you're talking about more of the stick razor, you don't have the same flexibility with the stick. If it's a straight, you tend to do more of a scraping as opposed to here where you have the cantilever and you can move it. So the balance here is different and better.
And Lisa Amato's asking, on the return of this client, will you razor cut again, or do you switch and alternate cutting methods?
As long I always approach every haircut fresh, because I'm fresh, baby. What I mean by that is, depending on what the hair is doing. All right, just sweep, seeing as we're doing the sweeping. Let's sweep it is. Okay, sweep, sweep, sweep.
We don't want you slipping, Nick.
Like my sneaks. I always address the hair fresh every time. If I'm not cutting a lot of hair off, good chance I'll use the scissor. If she wants to lose the same amount of hair, maybe I'll use a razor. I never I'm not on autopilot. Only when I'm on a plane.
Nick, Arrojo Cosmetology said if you've been following along, our Soho students are in their second week of school and they are loving it.
Fantastic. And then we're going to be in the school tomorrow morning, so we're excited for that.
And Phyllis Pate has another great question. Is the razor you're using better for stylists with carpal tunnel syndrome?
Not necessarily. I've never suffered from carpal tunnel syndrome. I obviously, when you're doing the same repetitive motion often, that's kind of maybe where you would get that. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I tend to find, thankfully, that I don't have too many aches and pains after 35 years. I do have aches and pains in my ankles right now because Memorial Day I kind of cleaned up my warehouse in our Soho location, ended up spraining my ankles, and being on your feet all day every day is not a good remedy for getting better, but I am getting better slowly but surely.
Good. Nick, Karen Thompson's asking, the stylists that work at this salon in Brooklyn, are they students or are they licensed already?
Oh, everyone's licensed. You can't become a hairdresser in New York unless you have a license. You can't become a hairdresser anywhere unless you have a license. So everybody gets licensed, then they get a job as an apprentice. And at present, we have about 14 stylists here working in a 32-chair salon. So we've got plenty of room for growth, and our objective is to grow, build, develop, evolve our Brooklyn location. We're always hiring. If anyone's ever interested, you just go to careers@arrojonyc.com and connect with us and come in for an interview and see whether you like what you see, and we can let you know how our program works, and we'll take people from all walks of the hairdressing community. Okay, now it's bangaroony time. All right, so we've layered it internally. Now let's kind of work on these bangs. So I'm combing it with the wide tooth of the comb. I'm looking at Jackie because this is for her. This is her cut. All right, so we want to make the bangs definite. I want to make them long and I want to make them soft. So let's start with a triangular section. All right, so use your wide tooth of your comb this out. Clip, that's one side. Now let's come through here. And make these sure they're not too narrow. Also make sure they're not too wide. So you just take your section, comb it around, you're looking at the hairline. You're looking to see where the hair sits and falls. And we'll clip that hair away. So now we have our triangular section right here. It's our triangle. I'm going to clean that up just a drop.
Nick, Taylor Jameson's asking, what is this bang?
This is it's a bang. It's a long bang, and it's going to be soft, wispy. It's going to have some weight to it. It's going to be playful. I'm going to damp the hair down. A lot of my bangs I do in the same kind of sectioning pattern. Now we're going to elevate this hair up. Oh, sorry, elevate the chair up so that she's closer to me. Keep the clamp clean. Shake that hair away. Comb that hair through. Okay, so now we'll take a section 90 degrees. Now you'll see how the hair swings and moves. Yeah? Grab a little clipperoo. It's Australian for clip. So you see when I comb that hair down, you'll see where the hair, see how the hair moves? So the hair grows over this way. Always study, but never live in fear. Just damp that down just a little bit. I like the Hydro Mist, it's kind of lighter than water. Comb that hair down. Now let's come in. We're going to start from the inside. Comb that hair down. Keep it long because we're going to allow for it to jump. Flat of the blade. Remember, you can always cut up more off. You can't stick it back on. Nice and taut tension. It's getting a little longer towards the edges. I want the hair to get just a little longer towards the edges. So now we've began. Be brave, be bold, be confident. It's all about the beat today, isn't it, Corinne?
Mm-hmm.
Second section. My sections are working on a 90-degree angle off the triangle. I'm working across the center, so it's going to do two sections on one side. I'm going to move to the opposite side and do two sections. Fine teeth. The hair's nice and damp. Flat of the blade, feeling that. Remember what's the word? The bite. And
starts with a B.
Starts with a B. And notice how I just comb it this way and this way. Have a look and see how it falls in. Now let's go to the, I'll come round to Corinne's side. She stays there. So take this out. There's your section. Little Hydro Mist in the hair. Comb the hair down nice and tight like a tiger. Same thing, allowing there now is a straight edge blade, so be careful around the eyes as you're just elevating the hair away. Look at my fingers lightly touching the cheekbone, keeping well away from the face. And just comb that hair down, have a look. Slightly shorter in the center, longer towards the edges. Next section. Nice and clean. So once we finish the bang, we'll do a little bit of perimeter work and then it's style time. This is actually going to make the hair look longer. Whenever you place a bang in, that sounds good, doesn't it? Whenever you place a bang in, whenever you cut a bang in, what happens is it's going to create the illusion of more length. Always notice how I comb that with the wide teeth of the comb. Always looking into the mirror as well to see exactly what's happening.
Nick, Hillary McCoy is asking, will you do straight edge shaves in your barbering program?
Yes, we will, Hillary McCoy. Yep. In fact, I have a good friend. We're going to create what we call our barber council. So all of my friends and people that I've seen and I continue to see, because every time I do a trade show, I meet a lot of new barbers, I meet a lot of friends, and whenever I do a trade show, when I'm out in the road, I'm meeting people. So we're going to slowly start to pull our program together. We actually have the program outlined. We're going to slowly start to pull this barber council together, and we're going to attack barbering here in New York City and create a very comprehensive barber program. Yeah, and then in 2018, I'm going to open up a barber shop. So that's my next phase. Barber shop. Oh, look at this. You get a little bit of blonde around your face. That's cute. So you see the way that the bangs work? So I'll just split this section up just one more time. Don't rush it. Especially this is like the major detail. This is the most important piece. Because this is the piece that she'll see. This gives her a completely different finish and feel to the hair, which is awesome. And she'll be able to pull her hair back, and she's got like this bang area. So that's going to create a look. And also keeping them on the longer side doesn't make them too extreme, although it makes a big change, as you can see. And you can see if she wants to push them away, she'll be able to create a little bit of separation. Whenever you are working on the bangs, I think it's important to kind of focus your haircut. Listen, we all cut hair to time. When I say that we all cut hair to time, we have limited amount of time to cut hair. Map your time out well. That's why in Arrojo, the only uniform you've got is your watch, because I want to save the most time for the most important part of the cut. This is the most important part of the cut. Of course, it's all important, but if I had to choose one area, it's this area. Now I'm going to come through, I'm going to tip in a little bit more, lighten that bang. Fine teeth of the comb. Tip, 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 tip.
Nick, we've got a few questions coming
Good.
in.
Fire away.
Can you kind of recap the sectioning for Karen Thompson?
Sectioning on the bangs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will do that in one. I'll do that right now, Karen. Just let me finish this one piece. So first off, it's a triangular section. You can see that? Mm-hmm. And it comes down to the recession. Not the temple area, the recession right here. Then my sections work from the outside in. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't matter which side you do. 1, 2, 3. Comb the hair straight down. And then I came to the top. 4, 4. You put the length in, and then we'll do the same thing and we tip. And you can come across the whole front and tip if you like. Tip of the blade.
Nice. Phyllis Pate is asking why you emphasize combing with the wide teeth of your comb.
Because the wide teeth gives the hair a little bit more live. Yeah, it lets the hair lift. The fine teeth keeps the hair pressed down. It's for tension. But when I want to see what this hair's going to do, I want it to lift away from the scalp.
Bless you.
Boom. Sneeze a Rooney. All right. Now it's time for me to just, it's getting close to the finish, but we're going to do a little bit of face frame. Yeah? And then we're going to do a little bit of drying. And I'll show you.
Nice. Nick, Ian said, with tension having to be tight using a razor, do you allow the hair to be cut slightly longer than when you're using a scissor?
No, I don't care. I'm not trying to, I have no idea what it's going to shrink to. You've no idea what it's going to shrink to. I'll just move the chair over because Corinne's in a good position there. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to look at this area, which didn't have any shaping because this was pulled all the way back. And we're going to just tickle.
Tickle? Tickle.
I've heard you like a tickle.
Is that the technical word?
You like a tickle? It's a technical tickle.
It's a bit personal.
It's personal, sorry. So, Oh, Jackie likes a
She's
tickle.
turning red.
She said that's a tickle. A little hydro. Again, the nice thing about hydro, it's kind of like lighter than water. Yeah, because the spray's so fine. And it just gives you that slip and that moistness.
It's a great word.
It's one of your faves. Okay, here we go. So coming down. I'm going to get that a little tighter. Fingers top to bottom. So my fingers are sliding. I'll rotate the head out just a little so everyone can see. Fingers are just sliding. I still keep the corner. Now once I put that length in, I'll comb forward and just tip. Just a little. Just the tip.
Nick, Phyllis Pate is asking, when converting a client from scissor to razor, how do you introduce it?
You know what? I don't think that it's up to the client. The client will say, if the client says, I'm not interested in a razor cut, then you don't do it. If you are on the cautious side and you do like to check in with your clients on what kind of technique you're going to use, then you can always introduce them by saying, have you ever had your hair cut with a razor before? What's been your experience? You could suggest to them that the next time you'd like to use a razor because of a certain effect that you want to achieve, get their thoughts and feelings on it. Razoring's not bad for the hair, but it gets a bad rap sometimes because when we razor hair, some people overshatter. And when you overshatter the hair, then that's when it creates a little bit of wispiness and maybe a little bit of broken ends. So again, it's up to you to communicate well with your clients. That's one side done. I'll spin around. I'll come around this way. It's the good thing about these Arrojo Belvedere chairs. Beautiful chair, by the way. These chairs are great hairdressing chairs designed by Belvedere. And they're called the Arrojo chair. If you're interested, check out Belvedere, they have them. They're a really great chair, designed by me, and we love them. So comb this hair forward again, just a little bit of moisture. And remember what I did say, I'm going to finish with a little bit of scissor cutting. But first off, we're going to come, again, from just around the bottom of the jaw, opening that blade up. My hand is sliding, my holding fingers are sliding as I come through the hair.
Nick, Stephen Martin's asking, do the chairs drop low?
Oh, how low can you go? Lower than you know. Yeah, Stephen, the chairs are really good. They're low and super high. And price-wise, they're very affordable for a great quality chair. And you know, we've got about 75 chairs. Actually, we have more than that. What am I talking about? We have about 100, don't we? Maybe 110. We just got brand new red chairs for our school. So they're pretty amazing. So check them out and check out the I mean, to me, the hydraulic is incredibly important. So that's a big feature. And also for me, the simplicity of the design and the cost.
What's the price point he's asking, Nick?
You know, I believe the price point's around $500. I would check them out. And depending on what base you've already got, you can often get them so you don't even have to buy new bases. Just buy new tops. Talk to Belvedere.
Nick, Phyllis Bates asking, do you razor curly hair any differently than straight hair?
I razor different textures differently and depending on the effect. It's not the hair texture that's the only consideration. It's also the desired effect. So yes, hair texture will have an effect on my razor technique, but really it's also my, what am I looking to achieve? What's my desired outlook, my desired goal. Spin Jackie round. And now we have a look. And now it's time for me to do a little scissor. Little scissor and then product. You can see what we got here. You doing okay, Jax? So let's do a quick recap. We laid from the back. We laid everything back. Then we rotated towards the front, over directing everything back. Then we came through, we took a triangle, put the bang area in. We cut the bangs shorter to longer from the center to the edges. Then I just combed the hair forward and just pieced in and kind of shaped a little bit, all with a razor. And now it's like hammer time. It's scissor time. Now, if you're interested in razor cutting, we have some great opportunities for classes, not just here in New York, but also in LA. I'm going to be in LA in August, the 27th, 28th, 29th. It's going to be a 3-day personal up close with Nick class. 3 days with me. We're going to focus on razor cutting. It's going to be hands-on for 3 full days. If you're interested, go to Arrojo NYC. That's where you sign up for all of our classes. You get information, you can speak to Loretta, she can give you more details on the classes. We also have our marquee class called Razor Craft. It's our 5-day class here in New York. That is in July. Also coming up, we have a 2-day class. It's called Cut and Color. Inspiration. Day 1 is all cutting, day 2 is all color. Most of the Arrojo classes have been modified so we do more hands-on than we've ever done before. We're firm believers that with the introduction of the technology of the internet, we see that we can study haircutting online, color online, and when you come to class, it's all about practicality. So we do very few demonstrations when you come to class at the Arrojo Academy here in New York. If you're interested, we have some real good special offers happening. Yeah, we have a 20% off our ArrojoPro.com. Arrojo Pro is our site for professional tools. The code, Corinne, is?
July 4th.
July 4th. And that will be available for the next 5 days. It's going to expire on July 4th. All right, so she's had some lightener in the hair. And what we're going to do right now is we're just going to do what I like to call sealing the cuticle. Just going to take the edges of the hair. I'm just going to lift, elevate, pretty thick, full sections right now. Elevate and just point in. Fine teeth of the comb. Elevate and just point into the hair.
Nick, Karen Thompson's asking, where do you stop sectioning when face framing?
When I run out of hair, Karen. Yeah, depending on, how deep the face frame is, right? Because, you want to comb the hair down, not forward to begin with. And that's really where I kind of start and stop. But it's all about how much of a face frame do you want, because a face frame could technically be from here too. So I think it's really, again, about the technique. And learning as many different techniques as possible. The great thing with the razor is the razor is just brilliant for face framing because it's a very fluid tool. When you're point cutting or when you're sealing the cuticle, the nice thing here right now is I don't have to wet the hair down now. I'm going to allow this hair to kind of dry out.
Nick, Jeremy Hickson has kind of a question, comment. He said, the one thing for me is finding a comfortable position to hold the straight razor.
Well, I think that if you go to my website, arrojonyc.com, you can actually get a 5-minute tutorial from me on how to hold the razor correctly. And when I say correctly, on how we hold the razor, yeah? We've been cutting hair for many years and we've been razoring for many years. So the reality is we've really kind of worked out our technique and our way of razor cutting. And we've mapped it out and we've taught it to thousands of hairdressers and we've been very successful with it. So check out Arrojo NYC and you can go to our, what we like to call as our subscription. And our subscription, you'll find that we do have subscription. Subscription, if you want to download it, or if you want to have access to subscription, it's $30. Gets you access to over 100 techniques, scissor, razor, color, All different types of techniques. Also, if you're tuning in and you're from Florida, very soon, if you was with us at Premiere Orlando, we hope to be launching a date for a certification in in Florida, in Palm Beach, in a town called Wellington, in a salon called Visions. We're talking to the Vision Salon. It's an amazing Arrojo flagship salon, Tom Monticello, and he's the owner. His wife Linda, great people. If you're interested, you want to learn American Wave, we're going to come down there and do it. Hopefully July or August.
Nick, Phyllis Pate's asking about scissors sealing the cuticle. Can you explain that?
Well, what we're doing right here is we've raised this hair out, so we've created lots of softness, lots of movement in the hair. And now what we're doing is, as we come through, and I'm almost finished, I'm elevating the hair up. And then we're just literally just checking to make sure that I've got really nice kind of cleanness, not left any straggles. We don't straggle rock. Now the only thing I'm going to blow dry right now is the bangaroonies. Yeah, I'm going to blow dry the bangs because I'm kind of loving the texture. What I like to do is get this cape off as soon as possible. Uh-oh.
I did two for you.
Sorry?
I said I did two for you.
You did double, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm a double.
It's a double bagger. Oh, she got clothes on. Yes, she's okay. She got clothes on.
Hey Nick, Milton Fed has a really excellent question. He said, what's the best way not to get lost in a haircut when dealing with a lot of hair?
Keep the lights on. Good question. You know what? The best way is to section it out. Pre-section it so you focus on panels as opposed to trying to deal with the whole shape of the haircut. So what I did here was, it was sectioned two sides and the entire back, and then the bangs were done separate too. So you got to map your haircut out. Don't start blind, start with a roadmap for success. I'm spraying in just a very little bit of wave mist because my team here is really good at retailing, so with a little bit left, this is going to add a little bit of beachiness into the hair. This product's $22. It's our Beach Wave Spray, beautiful product. Okay, but then I'm going to put something in as well onto the top, onto the front. I'm going to put a little bit, I love products, you need to figure it out. I'm going to use a little bit of our healing oil, Arrojo product healing oil. This is our Sun Kiss product. This is precious oil in a can. Luster, speeds up the drying cycle, will add moisture to the hair. Push that product in. It's also a glossing spray. And now we're going to just run that into the old bangaroonies. And I'm going to take my flat brush, which is this brush here.
Let's see it.
I'm going to blow dry it. So we're only going to really work with the brush on the bangs. And we're going to push it around side to side. Now the blow drying piece is very important. You want to make sure, especially when you do bangs for the first time, and you've not had bangs for a while, the hair may be in a little shock. The flat brush is available on ArrojoPro.com. It's a great brush for creating smoothness, not creating that bubble.
Nick, Debbie Ingalls is asking, is the healing oil light enough for finer hair?
Yes, it is, Debbie. It's a really great, precious oil. I mean, you have to think about using oils on fine hair, for sure. But our healing oils are very light. So light that you'll see it'll just disappear in the hair. $22 again, I believe $22. Great pricing. So we'll run the dryer into the hair. We've got the product in the hair, so we'll run the dryer through it. Shake that hair out. See all that texture coming out, the product's helping. Just blast it. It's the Arrojo Twin Turbo Power Lux Motor hair dryer. Oops, try not to pull the clothes off.
Let's keep this
Probably not
G-rated.
good. Let's keep this not X-rated. You can see the texture of the hair coming out now.
So
Which is
good.
kind of what we want you to do. Shake it. Shaking at the root. Get all that product in the hair out. You can see a little bit more separation, definition. She's a fashion student. She's cute. She's a fashion student. She's got this nice, different look. So what do we miss, Corinne? Anything else? What do we miss? What else is going on?
You said you're going to Toronto, yeah?
Going to Toronto. That's going to be a little private seminar for Element Hair Studio. It's going to be great. When we go to Cosmoprof, we're going to be looking for a distributor in Canada. We want to get all of our Canadian hairdressers connected a little bit closer to the Arrojo brand. We used to have a distributor in Canada. That was our first foray with hair products. We realized that we wasn't necessarily the perfect relationship for us. So now we're about to start that journey again.
How about the summit? Did you want to talk about that?
What?
The summit?
Oh yeah, well if you're an ambassador, or even if you're thinking about becoming an ambassador, one of the things is we do a thing called the Ambassador Summit. And this is for ambassadors only. So if you're interested in joining the ambassador program, the Ambassador Summit is going to be the end of July. If you are an ambassador, check in with your relationship manager, see whether you may be interested. We have an amazing plan. The schedule is going to be written up today for what we're going to be doing for this Ambassador Summit. And I'm really excited by it. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be photographs, there's going to be videos involved. We're going to do something special. We're going to do a photo shoot. Like that, photo shoot. So if you want to get connected to Arrojo, see what it's all about, now's a perfect time. Great hair, yeah? Mm-hmm. So you see great color. Blast this around. At Arrojo, we cut hair under 45 minutes, pretty much long enough. Obviously, a little bit longer when you're demonstrating, but 45 minutes to get through your cut and style, no problem.
Unless you're me.
What's that?
I said unless you're me.
Unless you're correct.
You can just take a little longer.
Quick.
Remember when I used to take 3.5 hours? Assistant.
Yeah, we have assistants in Arrojo, so you know we have people to help us, and co-workers should help. Everybody should help each other. Yeah, when you're in the salon all day, every day, helping each other is a great thing to do for the community in the salon. Community starts in the salon first. We'll be posting the pictures of the finished look on my Instagram, on my Facebook account. Always come back and watch it. You can watch the full cut if you've just signed in right now.
It looks so good.
So the fact that we're going to be doing our official launch of American Wave to the press, and then we're also going to do we kind of did a bit of a soft launch with American Wave. I'm going to use my hero product from American Wave, which is called Glint. Glint is a little wave and shine spray. Smells delicious. Empty. Means that they've been using it. That's our American Wave.
Let's display it.
I will just Michael Jackson moonwalk backwards. Find a full one. You're such a freak.
Did you get that picture I sent you?
Yes, I did. What was that?
That was pomade.
Your little pomade knockers.
It was from a few years ago.
When was that taken?
A few years ago. I was like going through my phone. Forgot about that one.
So not heavily layered, but layers. Yeah? And you see you got all this volume, texture. You know, it's like a little bit of a... Now let me show you the before of Jackie. Do you have it on your phone, Corinne?
I do.
I have the original before she was blonde.
Give me one
But
second.
I'm going to put it on my website. My original. Because you was brunette, wasn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? When did you get your colour done? Was it last week?
Yeah, last week.
Oh, you got it done last week, ready for... But I wasn't here last week because I was taking care of my cankles.
Alright, one second.
So guys, been a lot of fun sharing with you Brooklyn Live. This is Jackie. And as the before shot you can see, without the bangaroonies, without the layers, this is her with a cup of coffee. Is that a coffee?
Yes.
We don't mess around here. She has
so cute.
She has a little coffee. Yes,
It's
a
very
cup of
dainty.
coffee. Dainty little coffee there. Everyone's got to have a tattoo, at least one. How many you got, Corinne?
0.
0.
Nick, Ian said, can we get razors sent to the UK?
We can send whatever you want, Ian. Just email Nick at Arrojo NYC, NICK at ArrojoNYC.com.
And Nick, what do you have? We have someone, maybe not so thrilled with the look. They said it's looking a little dry and frizzy. What do you...
Well, you know, this is the kind of look. This is what we like. We like this kind of stuff. We don't want it to be smooth. Now, if you wanted to smooth it, if you wanted to blow dry it, you can get more smoothness. You can see the smoothness that you get with the bangs. That's from blow drying the hair. She actually has this texture, but I like this kind of rough, tumble texture for sure. This is kind of part of what we love. Yeah, we've had that before too. We've had that before where some people across America, they don't kind of like connect with it, but really this is kind of the style. Yeah, it's not meant to be all polished. Yes, you can polish it if you want. Yes, we've got irons, tools, we can polish it up. If you even look at the texture of the bang, you can see that's by using the brush on it. But really for today, it's really just a question of keeping all of that kind of, that texture, which for Arrojo, this is the kind of texture that we like a lot. Yeah, so you can polish it if you want. Remember, quick dry, quick style, just here, right now. A little bit of product, like that beachy looseness. It's kind of the texture that we like, and that's what's trending a lot, to be honest with you. We're not necessarily doing smooth and silky, and we're not doing as polished as we once were. I hope you enjoyed Brooklyn Live. Any final questions, Corinne?
Nope. You know, just some loving it feedback, and Art Cortez from Gleam Salon says hi.
Great, nice to see you, Art. Listen, thanks a lot, thanks for checking us out. We'll be here same time next week, same place, Brooklyn Live, NYC. Thanks a lot.